Well, hello and welcome to Understand Men Now. I'm Jonathon Aslay of jonathonaslay.com, and I'm so excited to be shooting this live stream for you today. Our topic, the 6 ways a man shows you he loves you and he's serious about a relationship. Let's talk about those 6 ways. Really quickly, if you're new to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified of new content, and please hit that like button whenever you hear something you like, something that resonates with you. All right, we're just going to jump into the topic. I know this is a live stream and people will be joining, but this is for those that are listening to the recording. So we're going to talk about those 6 ways a man shows you he loves you. Now, this is actually a topic that was birthed in a question that I posted in my private group called Midlife Love Mastery. And this is a very inexpensive group to get direct access to me on a regular basis through a private Facebook group and a once-a-month webinar. And then we've got a website that's got tons of videos. Almost any topic you can think of, you can go to the site and click on it. So check out the link in the description to Midlife Love Mastery to have direct access to me. But I asked a question of the members of the group, and we've got hundreds and hundreds of women in the group. And I asked them, what are different ways that you feel loved in the relationship? What are different ways you feel loved in the relationship? So this is actually not from the male perspective. This content is actually from the woman's perspective, the female perspective. And so we're going to dive into different ways men show you they love you. Okay, so I'm going to have to put on my glasses because, and by the way, for those, I bring up my glasses before. It's not that I'm embarrassed about glasses. It's just, I think I look better with them out, not with them on. I know many of you have said I look good with them on, so I want to thank you so much. So the 6 different ways, look at, there's even a sheet here, all the different ways. So I want to share the first one, and there was 2 different versions of this, and I'm going to read exactly what was shared in the group. And one of the members writes, includes me in decision-making with me in mind. He's thinking of me. It's really sweet, and it's being super supportive, being on my side. So, and there's a follow-up one that says, always includes her in his plans, asks about her life, offers to do something for her, asks if she needs something, makes plans with her, asks her before, tells her that he likes her and she's important and happy to be around her. I love this particular one because what this is talking about is inclusivity. When a man really genuinely cares about you and is serious about a relationship, he makes you inclusive in his life. Now, we have to differentiate between the early stages of dating versus once we've gotten past the sex piece. Okay, so there's the initial drive when men are, I don't like using the courting, I'm going to use the word chasing, and let's be real. He's not chasing a relationship. He's most of the time chasing sex. Okay, I'm not saying that's an absolute, but that's when someone is chasing something, it's not you yet because he doesn't know who you are yet. So most of the time it's the chase is that biological thing. So we have to differentiate the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dates, where usually somewhere between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sex happens versus after 10 dates, or after you've spent about 100 hours of face-to-face time together. Now this is an arbitrary number, 100 hours, but when someone invests 100 hours of face-to-face time, then chances are they're going to want to pursue a relationship with you. And again, one of the ways a man shows you he loves you and he's serious about a relationship is inclusivity. He discusses things with you. It's not arbitrary. He doesn't go off and make decisions without you. He brings you into his life, whether it's his own personal life or it's material to the relationship. So remember inclusivity. By the way, if you like this, hit that like button so more people can be seeing this live stream right now. And certainly for those listening to the recording, because the more likes that happen, the more people get to see this. Okay, number two. This centers around love language. And there's a particular reason why this is so important. So one of our members writes, my love language is acts of service, helping me do things I can't do for myself. Because of physical injuries would be heaven for me. Hope to find one of those one day. And I've had this before and it's fantastic. And another member writes, understands my love language and why it's important. Okay, this is hugely important for what I call emotional connection or emotional connectivity, or connected, emotionally connected. When you if the man you're with is not familiar with the 5 love languages, I highly recommend that here's the book. The 5 love languages for singles, right there, the singles edition. Now you can go online to check out the book. And if you're not familiar with the 5 love languages, they go like this: words of affirmation. Although I'm a Leo, so it's actually words of adoration, because we like our main stroked, we Leos, or at least this Leo does. I can only speak for myself. Words of adoration or affirmation. Acts of service. Oh, actually, let's go in that order. I think it's in the book. Words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and gifts. Words, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and gifts. So I highly recommend that before you get too invested in a man, that you read, you go online, just Google 5 love languages. You can take a test online. You can have the guy take a test online to see what your love languages are and talk about it. Talk about this. Guys, ladies, I'm fascinated how few of you have real deep conversations with men. It's always so surface level conversation. How's it going? How's your day? How's your day been? I hope your day's been good. Is your day good? Yeah, my day's good. I hope your day is good. Oh, I hope you have a fab day. Wishing you a fab day. I mean, this is such benign rhetoric. Can we go deeper and ask deeper questions right from the get-go? That's my invitation for you. So, learning each other's love language is highly important in connecting with one another at an emotional connection. And if this resonates with you, please hit that like button so we can see, so I can tell more people are watching. Please let me know if you like this content. Okay, so that was number 2. Let's talk about number 3. And I like this one. One of our members writes the following. This is going to take me a second to read. When I've had a rough day and I'm feeling sad or frustrated, he listens to me and holds me. Then he encourages me to do something kind for myself, like a bath. Meanwhile, he makes dinner, cleans up. He also emphasizes situations that might have disappointed me and apologizes even if he hasn't said anything. He makes a real effort to picture walking in my shoes. Let me repeat that. He makes a real effort to picture walking in my shoes. I really don't know this was possible to feel so loved by a man. I love what this member shares. And again, this is a member from my private group called Midlife Love Mastery. What she's describing is empathy. Empathy. Now, empathy isn't simply, I feel your feelings. Empathy is genuinely, I care about your feelings. I want to care about your feelings. Like, that's real demonstration of love. In fact, John Gottman talks about the 3 stages of love. And the first stage is always self-oriented. What can I get, okay, from the relationship? The second is what can I give? That's the second stage of love. And the third stage is really my partner's needs become my own needs. Okay, so because oftentimes what one person's needs are different than another's, but ultimately when you're genuinely in love with someone, when you're serious about a relationship, your partner's needs become your own needs. So I love what this member shared. Again, the member in my group called Midlife Love Mastery, check out the description below. It's in the description, or make a note of it. It's called, you can go to my website, jonathanashlay.com, to join the group, to have direct access to me and be able to have these kind of conversations with me. And I love what this member said around empathy. All right, let's talk about the 4th one. And what this member writes, he respects and appreciates me for who I am. He respects and appreciates me for who I am. I love this. I love this because what this describes is acceptance. Acceptance. let's face it, we all want to feel accepted for who we are. I mean, we are a lovable, dysfunctional, humanity is lovable and dysfunctional at the same time. I say lovable because we're humans and we're dysfunctional, and yet there is a little child inside of us that's yearning for love, 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 and just being accepted for who we are. I remember growing up, and that's a picture of my mom and dad there. But I grew up, my parents were from another country. And actually, my parents are from Istanbul, Turkey. So, although I was born here in the United States, and I always felt different from all the other kids who were American and we were foreign, and I never felt accepted for who I was. I was ridiculed. People used to make jokes. Kids used to make jokes, turkey, turkey, gobble, gobble. And my parents spoke with a foreign, with an accent, and they made fun of me. And that was a kid. So as an adult, we're screaming to feel accepted by people. That's what we're thirsty for, acceptance. And this is so true in relationship. Can you accept me for who I am? Now, that's not accepting bad behavior. I think there's this Marilyn Monroe meme that says, if you can't accept me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. And I mean, look, we all can have bad days, but that's I'm not suggesting we shouldn't have unconditional love, but that doesn't give permission for someone to be their worst and then you accept them for that. I'm differentiating between something intentional versus something that is situational. Because we can all have bad days, but if someone's continually having a bad day in their life, you don't have to accept that. Okay, because a relationship is about being on that road in a 2-lane street together with one another and accepting each other for who we are. So number 4 is acceptance. Again, if this resonates with you, hit that like button. Please tell your friends to join. I see a number of my friends have just joined. Thanks, Jennifer, Pamela, and everyone. Thanks so much. All right, let's get to number 5. I love this one. In fact, there's 2 versions that were shared in the group. One is no words needed. It's the way he holds me all night when we go to bed. He takes me to places I've never been before. It says we're a team no matter what life brings. And then another member writes, his patience when he's around me, no pressure at all from him about anything. Everything from physical to emotional, flowers on the car for no reason, the way he looks at me at a distance, and the way he holds me. I love this because, ladies, what this is describing, at least in my purview, is safety and no doubt. No doubt. Isn't there a rock band, or isn't there an 80s band called, not 80s band, 90s band called No Doubt? What's their most popular song? Please post it. I know, I can't think of it right now, but it's a group called No Doubt. Anyway, what I mean by no doubt is you're not doubting the relationship. Most of you that watch YouTube videos trying to understand men, is if you're in a relationship, is because you're doubting the relationship most likely. And those who are not doubting the relationship feel safe. And when you feel safe, that's when we feel loved. So, feeling no doubt. In other words, you're not second guessing the relationship. And I would say the vast majority of women who reach out to me on a professional level is because there is a fear going on within the relationship. There is a fear, and that's okay. But if you're in constant doubt, worry, and fear, then this person isn't helping you feel safe. And I'm a huge proponent of opening up, talking to them, and expressing what helps you feel safe in a relationship. That is how a grown-up leans into a relationship. In fact, if you haven't read the book, How to Be an Adult in Relationship, the 5 Keys to Mindful Loving, one of the first things is open your mouth and talk about what makes you feel safe. And not this, it'd be really feel good if you did this. How about I would feel really safe in our relationship if this were going on? That's a big word, safe. And what's so important about that word is if he genuinely loves you, he wants you to feel emotionally and physically safe in the relationship. All right, that was number 5. And number 6, bump, bump, bump. And then we're going to take questions. It was Gwen Stefani, and the song was called Don't Speak. Okay. That's right. I couldn't remember. Okay. So number 6, the 6th. And by the way, there is way more than 6. These are just 6 that came up in my private group. So, and this is one of our members' rights, our newer member rights, being actively engaged on all levels, being actively engaged on all levels. And why I like this is it's a demonstration of progressing the relationship forward. It's a demonstration of being committed to the relationship. The real challenge in dating today is most of the time there's very weak commitment, well before sex and certainly after sex. There's, other than the agreement of monogamy and exclusivity, there isn't very much commitment involved in the relationship. Again, beyond monogamy and exclusivity. And there are deeper roots to commitment. In fact, it's one of the things I teach in my private coaching practice. I've got a program called Shortcut to Mr. Right. It's a 5-week boot camp. It's about 20 hours worth of work with me. It's intense stuff. And I teach you how to vet for emotionally available men, and also how to create the roots to trust and commitment. So if you want some support on that, check out the link to a free discovery call with me to see if working with a coach is right for you, because that's my area of expertise. And for a small investment, you can, it's amazing. Women who hire me meet great guys literally weeks within signing up to one of my programs. It's like blows me away. It's like the floodgates open. It's like the minute a woman makes the investment, great guys start to appear. So my invitation for you, whether you hire me as a coach or do anything, is make the investment in yourself. And that investment is a daily practice of personal development, self-help, and spiritual work. In fact, that's why I wrote my book, What the Heck is Self-Love Anyway? What the heck is self-love anyway? It's a journey of personal development, self-help, and spiritual work on a daily basis. By the way, this is the back cover. I love this picture. This picture was taken by my ex-girlfriend's boyfriend when I stayed at their home. He and I went and played golf, but he took a picture of me one morning. I love this photograph. But my book, What the Heck is Self-Love Anyway? Does anyone own a copy? Please post a comment below or hit that like button. All right, we're going to take questions now. So I'll be looking in the Q&A right now. And okay, so we'll wrap up those first 6, and I'll repeat them at the end again. Now, really quickly, we're going to start with a trivia question, and today is 90s trivia. So before we start the Q&A, here is a trivia question for all of you. Who sang the ubiquitous hit song, Too Legit to Quit? Who sang the ubiquitous hit single, not song, hit single, Too Legit to Quit? This is a 90s trivia question. All right, let's see who can get that right. All right, now let's go to the Q&A board. Don't speak by no doubt. Correct. Okay, Jonathan, I'm confused. If we say it would make me feel safe if you do this, I worry he will view me as insecure, that I don't know how to feel safe myself. Karen writes, let me repeat that. Jonathan, I'm confused. If we say it would make me feel safe to do this, I worry he would view me as insecure. I love this question. So, chapter 1 in my book is called Speak Your Truth, Do It with Kindness. Again, my book. John, so What the Heck is Self-Love Anyway? Link below. So here's the thing. When you're with the right guy, if it's sincere and from your heart, so if there's something that's creating doubt in the relationship, you have every right to speak up. No doubt. Speak. What was the song again? To speak up and to speak your truth. So to say you need something to feel safe, that's not insecure. From the perspective of, it's really a reflection of him. It's what you need from him to feel safer in the relationship. It might be just simply saying, you know what? I notice you take a lot of time off. And what I mean by time off, you're gone quite a bit and you don't check in with me. And I'd feel really connected to you. I'd feel safer if you did that. Is that okay? You're simply making a request. You're making a bid for love. Let me repeat that. You're making a bid for love. And nothing is more powerful than making a bid for love. So John Gottman, who wrote the book, my favorite relationship book, next to my book, 8 Dates by Dr. John Gottman, talks about making bids and requests, and is absolutely okay to say, I'd feel safer in the relationship if this happened. If he judges you as insecure, that's on him, not on you. Now, I wouldn't be vomiting insecurity, but I'd certainly share what I'm feeling. Does this resonate with you? If it does, hit that like button. All right. So let's see if anyone got it right. Yes, MC Hammer, that is correct. All right, let's see what other questions came in. Joy writes, okay, I haven't dated in a long time. Now the mindset to me seems wrong. When did it shift to more casual mindset and not much towards commitment? Okay, I haven't dated, Joy writes, I haven't dated in a long time. Now the mindset seems wrong. When did it shift from more casual mindset and not so much towards commitment? Okay, Joy, that's a great question. So if you think about it, it used to be, if you wanted to get laid, you had to get married. So you used to make the ultimate commitment. And then somewhere around the 60s, in the feminist movement, the invention of the birth control pill, the need for marriage to have sex worked together. So now we can actually enter into a relationship, begin a sexual relationship without actually ever really building the roots to deeper trust and commitment, because it's not required. Now, it's a little bit different for men in their 20s and 30s versus men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s or 70s. Okay, so let's differentiate the two. Men in their 20s and 30s are typically on the hunt for a wife if they want to have children. Men are on the hunt for a wife if they want to have children. So what's happening is they're actively seeking a life partner, not all men, lots of men in their 20s and 30s, if they want to have children. So they actually have a goal in mind. Now, for our 40s, 50s, and 60 and 70-year-olds, it's a lot different. Roughly 75% of singles over 45 years old are divorced. And with that, it comes with a whole set of different issues because there's a huge reluctance to remarry. And because of that, it's very difficult to determine what commitment is. That's why I do a deeper dive on this with my private coaching when clients work with me. Because without understanding the deeper dive of commitment, what that looks like from your perspective, it's going to make it difficult for him to know, because men are rather clueless. Ladies, if you follow my stuff, I say this over and over again. Most men are good guys. They're just bad daters. They're clueless. They're not intentionally clueless. Now, not all men, but the vast majority of men, because what they're seeking most of the time is connection and sex, which is really just another form of companionship without any real idea of what commitment looks like for them. So this is why it starts by understanding what commitment looks like for you. What does commitment look like for you? Oh my God, I got to tell you, I'm going to tell you a story. I get this call, this is years ago, I'm working with a client, and she says, Jonathon, I'm in a relationship with a guy, blah, 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 blah. And she goes, and I want more commitment. I'm like, great. What does commitment look like for you? Well, Jonathon, I just want more commitment from him. I'm great. What does that look like for you? But Jonathon, I just want more commitment from him. Great. What does that look like for you? But so she's screaming, thinking that saying it louder, the same words over and over and over again louder, is going to answer her question. If she doesn't know it for herself, and if she can't explain it to me, how can a guy know what it is? And ladies, that's where I see the trap for most of you. What commitment looks like for you is called your standards. What are your standards? What it is that you're seeking? And I can tell you the vast majority of women, this is going to sound like a judgment, but this is just my perception based on talking to thousands of women. You all look at relationships up in the cloud. I hope I don't have pit stains. Up in the clouds, in the fantasy realm. You're all at the Disney level instead of the ground level. But because you think in the clouds, somehow that makes you more virtuous. It doesn't. If you want to become more grounded, then start at the ground level. Is that making sense? Is this sinking in? I hope I answered your question. All right. All right, Joy, I hope that answered your question. Giving you a big, gigantic Jonathan Bear hug. Giving you a hug if that's okay. Hit that like button if this is resonating with you. Colleen writes, a gentleman I thought had lost interest recently reached out through text. This happens way too often with this man. Should I ask him if he wants to get into a more committed relationship? Well, you could simply, sure, absolutely. You can do that. Like, sometimes you got to smack guys upside the head and say, what the fuck do you want? Oh my God, look at my cup. What does it say? Swear a little, you'll feel good. You'll feel better. Yeah, what the fuck do you want? Like, are you, let's stop treating men as these passive children and smack them upside the nose and go, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, you're not going to, okay, look, you're not going to say it like that. And I really appreciate what you said, Colleen. Hey, I'd like to know, are you interested in exploring a serious relationship with me, or are you just jerking off? Okay, because if you're jerking off, go jerk off with someone else. By the way, I do curse. I do curse. I have this napkin. Check this out. Fuckity, fuckity, fuck, fuck, fuck. I curse. Listen, I curse simply to enhance sentences. It's not to offend anyone. It's just my style. I tend to curse more when I shoot videos than I do in life in general. But I'm just saying, I just do it for the humor's sake. So I hope you can appreciate it. But ultimately, here's the bottom line. Ask. Stop, ladies, stop being passive when it comes to men. One of your biggest challenges is you expect men to know what they're doing. And I'm telling you, you are in charge of your relationship destiny. I know it's great. You all are seeking the 10%er, that guy who's emotionally mature. He's got his act together. He's got your values are aligned. Your lifestyle's aligned. He's demonstrative. He's effusive. He comes after you. I get it. We all want confidence, people in our lives. But the reality is most human beings are riddled with flaws. And here's the good news. People with flaws make great partners to grow with one another, If you're not familiar with the book, Gary Zukav wrote the book, Seed of the Soul, but he also wrote this great book called Spiritual Partnership. Oh my gosh, ladies, I want to begin to encourage you to start thinking of a relationship as something you co-create together to create commitment. Okay, see, I did this. Co-create something together to make commitment. Commitment is a strong bond. I can't pull it apart, but it has to be done together. This is why reading these books that I recommend, especially going back to 8 Dates, because it's a blueprint to make this happen. By the way, can I tell you ladies something? I can't tell you how many of you have written at me and said, Jonathan, I'm in a relationship with a guy. I introduced the book 8 Dates, and I can't tell you how much I appreciated your advice. He is more attentive in the relationship. He's actually interested in pursuing it at a much deeper level. Ladies, and it didn't take much. All she had to do was say, hey, here's a book I'm reading. Would you be open to reading it together? Now, some of you are going to say, if I did that, that will scare the man away. Good. You want to scare away the wrong guys as soon as possible to invite in the right guys in your life. That's why I'm not a big proponent of leaning back. I'm a big proponent of leaning in and taking charge of your relationship destiny. Hey, by the way, I've lost some weight recently, so I'm feeling really good about myself. I put on like 10 pounds over the winter, and now I've lost like 9, and I got a few more to go. So I'm wearing my tight shirt again today. And I want to thank everyone for your kind comments always. All right, we're going to take some more questions. Let's see, who do we have? Bear with me. All right. Okay. Diana writes, oh, I love the name Diana. I think of Diana. I mean, I'm Princess Diana anyway. Not that I'm relating you, Diana. Should I hang on to a man that will not commit? 8 months of dating, he will commit to being exclusive, but he says he doesn't feel love. Am I wasting my time? Will he ever feel it if he doesn't now? You know what? If a man says, I don't feel love, I'm sure if he spent 8 months with you, then most likely what he's experiencing is what's called stable ambiguity. Stable ambiguity. I want you to Google the word, Diana, I want you to stable ambiguity by Esther Perel. Esther Perel wrote the book Mating in Captivity. Mating in Captivity. And she talked, stable ambiguity is basically getting connection and sex. So and the stable part is it's monogamous and exclusive. However, what's missing is direction. What's missing is commitment. And most of the time, what's missing is deep, genuine love. And while he might demonstrate some of the 6 things that we talked about, ultimately, if he genuinely cares about you, then what you need to tell him point blank is, look, I want a serious committed relationship that leads to marriage. Now, that's my word, so take it for what it's worth, Diana. But listen, you want to cut to the quick. If he doesn't want marriage, then don't. And if it's something you want, or if you want to live with someone and be a true partner with someone, then get that shit out of the way. 8 months is a lot. Look, at 8 months is enough time to figure it out. And if he happens to be over 50 years old, if he doesn't know his shit by 8 months, then you know what? Say, listen, sweetheart, I wish you all the best. I'm going to go find a man who wants what I want, and I want the best for you. Go out and have a good life. Okay, hope, Diana, I hope that helps. Cynthia writes, you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. Yes, chapter 9 in my book. Where's chapter 9? If it's sincere and from the, read that. If it's sincere and from the heart, you can't say the wrong thing. You can't. If it's sincere and from the heart. So correct. Yes, finally, the infamous glasses. Thanks, A1. Andrea writes, I think it's because of the internet and dating apps. The next option is just a quick click away. Andrea, yes, there's a blessing and curse with the dating apps. I'm going to take another trivia question in a second. The blessing and curse of dating apps is the blessing is you have access to people you wouldn't otherwise have in your life. B, there's a false sense of choice, as if there's thousands of choices out there. And so it used to be we operated from a place of scarcity. In other words, 10 people lived in your village, 5 women, 5 men. That's all you got to choose from, okay? And I'm thinking back hundreds of years ago, right? Or thousands of years ago, whatever the amount of people in your village. That has certainly changed. However, now let's be real. Look, I don't know about you. I work from home. I mean, I've been working from home for a decade, but most of us are now stuck at home. The reality is nobody's knocking down my door to say, hey, Jonathon, I'd like to ask you out. And I'm not knocking down anyone else's door to ask them out because I'm not seeing them. That's the hard part. We don't see people. So what we have is this little device. And we scope. Let's see if I have any Bumble action right now. Looks like I get to do a super. Oh, she's kind of cute. Let's swipe. Oh, she's cute. All right, I'm just having some fun. Let's take another trivia question, and then we're going to answer more questions. I hope I answered yours. All right, our next question. In the 1984 comedy Dumb and Dumber, what color tuxedo did Lloyd wear to the Snow Owl benefit? What color tuxedo did Lloyd wear to the Snow Owl benefit? And the follow-up question, what's Lloyd's last name? Let's see if anyone gets this right. All right, let's take some more questions. Crystal Dating Coach says, although ladies, dating doesn't mean having sex. Although ladies, dating doesn't mean having sex. I agree. What about men and women who marry older and have kids? Not everyone marries long. I'm not sure what your question is. Diana writes, commitment looks like to me a promise to work towards a life partner. Diana, commitment looks like a promise to work towards life partner. Do me a favor, give me 10 examples of what that looks like and post it. I want 10 examples of what that looks like. And you can only post until you come up with 10 examples. Colleen writes, love this. Thank you, Jonathan. CB writes, at what point in dating can you expect commitment from a man before moving on? Again, I invite you to decide what commitment looks like for you. What does commitment look like for you? Because if it's, and here's my belief. After age 45, look at most people, if you've invested 1 year or 4 seasons, you get a sense of whether or not you want to make a full commitment with this person. It doesn't take that long to decide. The problem is you two aren't talking about it. Or I'm going to say most people aren't talking about the relationship. That's why these books that I recommend, 8 Dates in this book, are so, look at, so critically important. Know what a relationship looks like in the area of commitment, and then you can talk about it. Listen, ladies, if the penis gets to go inside the vagina on a regular basis, you have every right to talk about the relationship. Stop being passive. Start being demonstrative. Start speaking up. Chapter 1 of my book, Speak Your Truth. All right. Who's going to get the trivia question correct? Let's see. Dead stop. I hope I don't have pit stage. Yeah, Colleen. Thank you. Oops. Okay. Sophie, right? Oh, wait. Jennifer writes, I've scared away many men when I shared my self-help work. P.S. You look great. Thank you. I'm trying to lose COVID weight. I gotcha. Okay, you've scared men away. What that really means is you haven't scared them away. What it means is a misalignment. It's simply a misalignment. You are aligned this way and he's aligned this way. And the fact that he goes in this direction means he's not aligned with you. Remember, I talk about a relationship as a 2-lane street. Find people who are aligned to who you are, your values, blendable lifestyle, emotional maturity, and then ignite that with chemistry. Oh, there's my armpits again. Ignite that with chemistry, and you've got a great chance for relationship success. All right. Don't waste your time, Diana CB writes. Sophie writes, we had 1 date. It was short and sweet still. We don't know each other well. He went back to his hometown. Sparingly, he writes and calls, shows interest, then 3 days, no contact. I don't like on and off communication. So my belief, ladies, if you're making effort to communicate and he's not corresponding, then I like how Matthew Hussey, this is something I heard this from Matthew Hussey, which I love. Invest and test. See if he meets you. Okay? So you invest and see if he catches up to you. If he doesn't, if he's still here, it's not your job to lean back. It's just move on. Invest and then see if he joins you. And if he doesn't, then you have to ask yourself, is this the type of person I want to be with? And I'm tired of, we're on and off in the beginning because we're strangers to one another. This whole stupid fucking narrative about men are chivalrous and they go after what they want and blah, 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 blah is such a crock. The reality is we're strangers to one another. We're all scared, men and women alike, and this whole rhetoric, well, I don't like men who are scared. I just want confident men. Well, good luck, because that's such a, by the way, never do this in front of a guy. Always do it this, if it's a lady, you do it this way. I can do this. It's such a small percentage of men who are genuinely confident. And then there's another percentage of men that are confident, but they're just players. They're just charming. Doesn't mean that they're the right person for you. The reality is your ideal partner is riddled with flaws because you can work on them together. You can work on your shit together. This is why I'm a big proponent of reading the book, The Hoffman Process, so you can learn about your childhood wounds and traumas. And then you can heal your negative patterns and your limiting beliefs in your life. Now, by the way, ladies, it might seem like I repeat the same books over and over again. One of the things is someone could be brand new to my channel and hasn't seen my other videos. So for those that have watched my videos regularly, I repeat these books because these are the best books out there. And there's new books coming in my door every day. I'm reading this brand new book called Self-Compassion. Self-Compassion by Christine Neff. Check that out. Here, look at. Go back to the replay and pause right there. These are books to help you become the best version of yourselves, because when you become the best version of yourself, you become a magnetic attractor for a great guy. By the way, those interested in the answer, it was not a red tuxedo, it was an orange tuxedo, and his name, Burgundy, got it right. His last name was Christmas, or is Christmas. Okay. Let's take another question. Carrie, I don't know why your post was deleted. I didn't do anything. Sophie writes, thank you for the answer. I'd like to see some consistency in communication. I agree with you. Invest and test. I love that. I love that. By the way, if this is resonating with you, please hit that like button. Please. This way more people get to see this. Oh. Carrie writes, or Jennifer writes, we all have flaws. I'm a big fan of Brene Brown's work on shame and vulnerability. Where's my Brene Brown book? Brene Brown, Daring Greatly. Oh my God. Love this book. We all, when it comes to love, we should just be bold and daring, not passive and weak. That's why I'm not a big fan of feminine energy work, because it's such a passivity-based way of dating. It's almost a submissive way of being in a relationship. And ladies, I want to empower you to be in your empowered self. Dare greatly. Be empowered. Don't be passive. Don't be submissive. Be empowered. And that's not masculine or feminine. That's just sexy energy to be empowered. I'm yelling. I'm going to stop yelling. Okay. Carrie writes, how do I attract men around my own age? Here, go to Bumble and swipe on men your own age. That's one way. Diane, 10 things is hard. Oh, okay. So Diana writes, 10 things is hard to write about commitment. I guess I have some digging in my head. To me, it seems easy, a promise to work towards marriage. Yes, but I want you to give me examples. This is going back to that lady. I want more commitment. What does that look like? But I just want more commitment. But what does that look like? Diana, do the same thing. If you can't write it down, then you don't know it. A promise, yes, a commitment is simply a promise. But I want you to give me examples of what are we promising to. Okay. Lisa writes, I'm told to relax about dating, but I don't worry about breaking someone's heart like I had by getting serious too quickly. I'm told to relax about dating, but I worry about breaking someone's heart. Okay, Lisa, if you break someone's heart, is it because you're misleading somebody? Because if you're genuinely misleading someone, then I'm not a big fan of that. So if someone gets attached to you, and he's not the right person for you, his feelings are not your responsibility. His feelings are his responsibility. Your feelings are your responsibility. Now, I understand, because we don't, being nice means, or being a people pleaser means we want everybody to be happy. But ultimately, the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Powerful thing you can do for another is to be transparent, authentic, and vulnerable. That's the most powerful thing you can do for another human being. Be transparent, be authentic, be vulnerable. That's what we call the words being honest. Okay? It's really there. It's not about honesty. It's about authenticity, vulnerability, and transparency. So I want you to lean into that. You be responsible for your feelings. Let him to be responsible for his feelings. Ladies, do you agree with this? You're in charge of your feelings. He's in charge of his feelings. Do you agree with this? Please let me know. Okay. Leanna writes, I have a man friend who pursued me in the beginning, then stopped dead. With your help, Jonathan, I understand him much better now. We are friends, but he wants sex a lot. Not healthy, right? Look, I'm not here to judge. If you want to have sex, go out and knock it out. Ladies, by the way, until you find the right relationship, find a friend with benefit in the meantime. And by the way, I know that sounds like a guy thing, but by the way, I know lots of women who have friends with benefits in their lives while they're searching for a life mate. because sex is the juicy, delicious part that we oftentimes have to wait for being in a relationship. You don't have to wait and be in a relationship if you find someone you want to have sex with. So be empowered, do what you want to do. Carrie writes, I'm empowered, have sexy energy. Yes. Okay. Jennifer writes, I'm on Bumble and Hinge and Coffee Meets Bagel. I tried Coffee Meets Bagel. I thought it was wank. I cannot stand all the queen and feminine energy discussion. I'm so over it. You and me both, number one. Now, Alison Armstrong talks about the queen, and by the way, I'm a fan of Alison's work. So the Queen's Code is really about understanding men. It's a thick book, by the way. Alison's a personal friend. She invited me to speak at one of her events. She said, I'm the only dating coach that's ever spoken at one of her events. At least she told me that. And the queen energy is not arrogant energy. It's not see, a lot of queen energy is really wrapped up in princess energy. A lot of princess energy wants to be taken care of by their daddies. So a lot of this feminine energy conversation is just princess energy because they want to be taken care of by a guy, to be submissive and to be passive under the guise of empowerment. That's my interpretation of it. But I want you to lean into queen energy. Means you are sovereign in yourself. You are your sovereignty. You are in charge of your destiny. A king and queen co-create a relationship. Let me repeat that. A king and queen co-create a relationship. I have to apologize. I'm looking at the picture of Connor and it just triggered me right now. I post, these are pictures of my sons and me and such. I do post these all the time. I share this with you because this is part of my life. Most of you know I lost Connor to an accident. So when I saw his picture, it just triggered me for a second. By the way, for those that have asked, I have 3 bracelets that I wear. I want to read them to you. One says, I'm enough. The other is the blue one is about Connor says it rests with love. And the other one is my infinity stones or chakra stones, chakra crystals or whatever they are. So I call them the infinity from the Marvel. Anyway, those are my bracelets because some people have asked. All right, let's keep jumping in. Oh, are we ready for another question? Let's do another question. Oh, I like this one. I'm a big fan of The Matrix. Are you a fan of The Matrix? And by the way, Diana, I'll get to yours. In the 1990s, The Matrix, Mr. Anderson swallowed a pill to begin his quest of becoming Neo. What color was the pill? What color was the pill? Let's see if someone gets that right. All right. Okay, Joy writes, aren't women labeled and judged more harshly than men seeking just sex? I love this question, Joy, because my answer is, who gives a fuck what anyone else says about you but you? Not but you, and you. I'm trying to eliminate but. Who gives a fuck what someone else says about you? Chapter 5 in my book. What's that say? Don't let anyone F with your chi. Don't let anyone F with your chi. What you think of you matters most. If you want to have sex with guys, that's okay. Who gives a crap what someone else says? By the way, this chapter was birthed by Connor. He had this ability. He didn't care what other people thought of him. That's how I came up with this chapter in the book. So my chakra stones, thank you. So my invitation for you, Joy, who cares if someone else judges you? If you judge yourself, then you have to look inward as to why you're judging yourself. I hope that answers your question. Thank you for the hugs. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that about Connor. What's your best way? CB writes, what's your best way when you do disclose your difficult history with a very dysfunctional family? I love this question. What's the best way, or when do you disclose difficult history with a very dysfunctional family? First off, I don't discuss very intimate things until trust has been built. So the first, it takes a few dates to begin some layers of familiarity and trust. I think what's most important is if you're going to discuss dysfunctional family, do it from an empowered sense, and not from a victim sense. Sadly, a lot of people discuss their family life from a very negative victim narrative instead of an empowered narrative. So you might share some challenges with family members and it doesn't affect you. Okay. If it affects you, then it can be material to the relationship, because if you're affected by your family, you might not be a good partner to someone. And that might mean you have to shore up your life before you bring someone else into your dysfunctionality. So my invitation for you is make sure your ground underneath you is solid before you invest in someone if you have a dysfunctional family. At least that's just a quick answer. All right. It's none of my business what others think about me. Exactly, Carrie. Okay, one writes, saying no to princess type, saying no to princess type of queen energy. I'm too academic and scientifically inclined to follow such. Need factual and battleground dating proven. Great. Joy writes, I know. I knew when we were going there, I still had a hard thought. Got it. Thank you. All right. What would you say if a long distance boyfriend is wanting you to go to KK writes, what would you say if a long distance boyfriend is wanting to go to one chick to another and he doesn't want to be with me because of distance? So if I'm understanding this correctly, you have a boyfriend, it's long distance, and he wants to sleep with other people. If you don't know the answer to that question, I think you need to do some work, because everybody who's read this knows the answer to this question. The question is, what do you want? Do you want a man who's exclusive with you, or do you want a man sleeping with other people? If it's okay that he sleeps with other people, you can do whatever you want. And if it's not okay he sleeps with other people and dates other people, then dump him. Okay. 50 Lindsay writes, hi, Jonathan. I've been texting with a guy for a few months, but we never chat via phone or FaceTime. How do we move away from this texting and go to the next stage? Pick up the phone and call him. Look it. This is a text message. This is my latest text message with one of my clients. See that little thing right up top there? It's got a little telephone. Just hit that and dial the motherfucker. Just get on the phone. And if he doesn't want to talk on the phone, why are you wasting your time text? Listen, our thumbs are not a way to have a relationship. Let me repeat this. Someone write this down in the comments. Our thumb is not a way to have a relationship. Our thumbs. This is how you have a relationship. This is how you have a relationship. Bump and grind, all this other stuff. Stop choosing these relationships that are virtual. Start choosing face-to-face relationship. And if distance is your problem, then figure that shit out quickly, because you're going to waste years of your life. This is why you have to hire people like myself, so we can smack some shit upside your head. What does this say? Swear, you'll feel a lot better. Thanks, Gary Ann. I try to be funny, Diana. Thank you. Exactly. All right, we're going to take one more Q&A. We're going to take one more question. Oh, I love this one. Again, this is 90s trivia. What is the first rule of Fight Club? Let me repeat that. What is the first rule of Fight Club? And the follow-up question, what is the last rule of Fight Club? Let's see if you get this right. That's more of a guy's movie. By the way, if this is resonating with you, please hit that like button. Please share this with your friends. Check out the links to my books and my scheduling a discovery call with me and joining my great group called Midlife Love Mastery. All right. Everyone needs to subscribe, like. Jonathon deserves that. At least he's bringing it here in all the video lives. Thank you so much, Juan. Thank you, Jonathon, for the face-to-face. I agree. Joy said, I didn't see that movie. Burgundy says, we don't talk about Fight Club. That's right. You're going to make it happen, Colleen. Our thumbs are not a way to have a relationship. Yay. I got to write a meme around that. Okay. So listen, if you're struggling on the inside, I want to share with you my Bible. There's two books that have changed my life. And this is so hugely important for all of you to be in your empowered self. The first book, this totally changed my life. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. I'm burping. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. This book is beyond amazing. It will help you learn how to talk to your voice, to the voices in your head. Because a lot of this that's going on, this narrative, is because of real garbage thinking, especially around relationship. And I want you all to lean into your sovereignty, lean into your empowerment, lean into your self-love. And then the follow-up book, I don't have the book, I have the CD, is Marianne Williamson, Return to Love. Ladies, this is what you should be listening to. You should be, go to YouTube, look up Marianne Williamson, listen to her book, buy the CD, go online, buy the Audibles. This is all going to change your life. Because here's the bottom line. Most of you give your power away to men. That's why I don't like the feminine energy dating advice, because it's still giving your power away to men, meaning I need you to love me for me to feel good about myself. I'm here to say you can do this all on your own to feel good about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, you don't even have to ask for advice, because you will naturally feel connected to another human being. You will feel safe. You'll feel all these things I talked about in the beginning. Remember I said 6 ways a man shows you loves you and he's serious in relationship. He wants to be inclusive. He wants emotional connection. He leans into empathy. He leans into acceptance. He demonstrates safety and no doubt. And finally, he progresses the relationship forward. And again, going back to Diana, come up with 10 ways to describe commitment for yourself. And I promise you, you'll be leaning in to a great relationship coming your way very soon. Colleen writes, I really needed this tonight. It felt so good laughing at your truth, Jonathan. Thank you so much. Listen, everyone, as a dating and relationship coach, I don't buy into the bullshit narrative based on the book, The Rules. This is the book, Rules. It's a piece of shit because it's reverse psychology bullshit. Most dating advice is centered around, by the way, this is what it's called. The time-tested secrets for capturing the heart of Mr. Right. No, it's capturing the heart of Mr. Dysfunctional, because reverse psychology only brings in dysfunctional people in your life. This is why don't do reverse psychology, do personal development work for yourself. Because when you are rocking and rolling in your personal development, you will attract a juicy, delicious relationship that will feel like a warm blanket. And that warm blanket starts with the blanket of self-love. And that's my invitation for all of you, to lean into your sovereignty, to lean into your empowerment, and to lean into your own love. Is this resonating with you? Please hit that like button if it is. All right. I think this is a great time to wrap up my Friday afternoon videos for you. I'm going to do a lot more lives because these are a blast. And quite frankly, I'm bored as fucking hell at home by myself. I want a girlfriend too. And it's not easy out there. Look it. I'm in the same boat as you. It's not easy. It's not easy finding the grown-up that lives around the corner that has time for a relationship. As easy as you all think it is for me. Look at they're not beating down my door just like they're not beating down your door. And that's why you have to make things happen for yourself. And it starts by loving on yourself. And ladies, I had to do a deep dive on loving myself. It took me 50 plus years to get to this place right now in my life. And I'm just coming out of the cocoon after losing Connor. So I'm now ready. I hope you're ready. And I invite you all to do a deep dive into loving yourself. So we're going to wrap up this video as I always do. First off, giving myself a big, gigantic Jonathan Bear hug of self-love. I'm going to reach into the camera and give you a hug of love. Oh, hold on a second. Don't leave yet. I'm going to ask you to turn to a friend or a pet or a stuffed animal and give it or them a hug of love. This is Salty, Connor's nickname, and this was a gift from a client. This actually has a crystal heart in it that was blessed by a shaman. So I want you to grab your stuffed animals and give them big, gigantic hugs, because we can all use more love in our lives. And hugs are a great source of love. I want to thank you so much and wishing you a super duper wonderful day. Bye bye now. Bye bye.